to today's live stream. Well, yesterday I did my first live stream in about 7 months, I think it was. I was really having a lot of fun doing live streams, but I sort of got out of it. But I really think it's time to get back into live streaming again. Something I really enjoy, and from some of the comments and the feedback, seems like a lot of you also enjoy the live streaming. So yesterday, unfortunately, I had to finish off the live stream a little bit early because I had another one with Reolink in the afternoon, and I felt my voice was on the way out, so I thought I'd better give it a break. So today what we're going to talk about is something that I've been investigating for a while now. Now, I run surveys on my channel quite regularly in the community section. It's really useful because it gives me an idea of what you guys are interested in and what I can focus on to give quality content to you as my audience. And number one that was coming up was smart lighting. And smart lighting is a really interesting topic because there are so many different ways of controlling your lights, and there are just so many different methodologies. You've got different, you've got Wi-Fi, you've got Zigbee, Z-Wave, all of these different protocols. So today we're going to have a little bit of a look at smart lighting. We're going to talk about where it all sort of started off, and then we're going to head on and have a look at perhaps what's coming, what we've got at the moment, and then hopefully what we might get coming up in the future. So to kick things off, I'll talk to you about my first smart device that I bought. And this was back in the 1980s. So I'm probably giving away my age by telling you that. Probably the gray hair also does. But back in the 80s, they had this thing come out, which was called a smart, well, it was a clap light switch. So it was basically like a smart plug, plugged it into the wall, plugged your lamp or whatever into this smart device, and then you give it a clap and it would turn it on or turn it off. And I was just fascinated by this device back then, and it was a lot of fun. But obviously we've come a long way since then, and honestly, I didn't focus on anything smart home for the next 35 years or so, strangely enough. But about 3 years ago, I bought a house that I was doing up, and I suddenly got back into it. I started off with a smart light bulb, one of those colored LED RGB downlights that you replace your existing downlight with, and you can connect it up to, it's got an app, its own app, and also you can obviously connect that up to some of the voice assistants like Miss A and Mr. G. So we won't say the names because I know a lot of people get upset when their devices go off. All right. So yeah, I started with that. And yes, they are pretty awesome, but they also have their moments. And the big thing is when you switch the light switch off, someone switches the light switch off, suddenly no connection and no control to those lights anymore. So the other thing is that if you've got a room with, say, 20 downlights, as I've had in some of the houses I've lived in, that's a lot of money to go and replace each and every one of those downlights with a smart bulb. So I'm not sure exactly when they came out, but these little devices, I haven't got the box for this one anymore, but this is the original Sonoff that came out. Well, before this, I suppose there was X10 and stuff like that. But one of the first Wi-Fi smart switches was this little guy, the Sonoff over here. And I've played around with these a little bit. I did when I first got started. And yep, they are actually just a fantastic device. They were a real game changer at their time. But if you look at where Sonoff has come now, you'll see that there's quite a big difference. This is a Zigbee controlled switch that Sonoff has come out with recently. Fantastic. I tried this out recently. Just amazing. The features and the functionalities. But look at the size of that. It's literally probably probably a half to a third of the size. Quite amazing. So think of trying to fit that into your light switch. Probably pretty difficult, but something like this will fit into your light switch super easily. Now, the first smart switches or relays that I sort of got going with was the Shellys. Shellys, you probably heard me talk about the Shellys quite a lot. Shellys are fantastic for a couple of reasons. Now, the first reason that I really like the Shelly device is the fact that in New Zealand, where I live, the Shellys have been, well, they have a test certificate, which means that you can put them in the wall and you can be comfortable that they are going to be doing the job and not risking your house burning down and the insurance not paying out. So Shellys are amazing. This one is the blue one. This is the Shelly one. I don't have the casing. Casing looks similar to that, but blue in color. And the Shelly one is still an awesome device. There's still a whole lot of uses for the Shelly one, and I can still honestly recommend them. One of the cool things about the Shelly one, it has 2 voltage options. It has a DC voltage option, which you can limit. You can run off 12 volt, which is great if you're running outdoor lighting, for example, or you're controlling a device like I was showing you yesterday, controlling my little diffuser. So Shelly one is still a great device. Doesn't offer power management, this one. It's purely a relay. You can see the relay. And I think this little relay is something around the, let's see, oh, I'm struggling to see it. I think this is a 16 amp, if you get me wrong, but yeah, there's a 10 amp and there's a 16 amp relays that seem to go, but I think this one is a 16. Now, generally, it doesn't really matter. If you're running lighting and you're running LED lighting, you're probably way less than anything near 10 amps anyway. But these are a great starting point. They fit behind your existing light switch. So your light switch, something like that, you just wire it in the back there. The beauty about this is that you still have a normal light switch on your wall that anyone using the light can operate. So the spousal approval factor on this is pretty good because you can always turn it on and off. You don't need to worry. However, in the background, you've got your little Shelly sitting there, and you can control this through the Shelly app, or more importantly, you can control this through Home Assistant, because Shelly integrates very, very closely with the Home Assistant system. So yeah, Shelly's, this one has power monitoring. This is the red one. This is, I think, called the 1 p.m. or something like that. One power monitoring. Anyway, the Shelly ones, 1 p.m. So this is a different generation. The blue ones were the first generation. Now, they were a little bit tricky to connect sometimes. What you needed to do was connect up the AP using your phone, connect to the AP, and then connect it to the app. And originally, they were quite tricky and fiddly to do. I've got a few videos showing you about that. But nowadays, the new ones, they work with Bluetooth. So they have a Bluetooth provisioning system, and super simple. You literally just power the device up, turn the app on, press the plus, and it will detect the device. We'll link it up within seconds. So big shout out to Shelly. I think they're doing some fantastic things. So that's the Shellys. There are a whole lot of different Shellys. I recently did a video featuring about 4 of the different Shelly relays that are on the market now, and some amazing stuff. I also did a relay on the Shelly wall display. Now, the Shelly wall display is super cool. I will quickly just show you the Shelly wall display. Just give me a chance here. I just want to make sure that I can get you in there without, let's see here, display, Shelly wall display. There we go. So I'm going to switch you over to my screen, and you can see here the Shelly wall display. That's this one over here. Shelly wall display is unbelievable. It is a Android device inside this wall switch. So it runs the Android software, and you can basically create various options here. Now, this will link into all the different screens, all the different Shelly devices in the background. However, it can also link up to Home Assistant. Well, not link up, I was told, but actually display a browser, which will show you the the Home Assistant within here, and you can control Home Assistant. Huge amount of popularity for this device. One of the limitations is that it's only 220 volts. So unfortunately, at this stage, they're not offering a 110 volt version. They might do in the future. I don't know. But yeah, that was a really, really cool device, I must admit. I have had a lot of fun with that device. Huge amount of interest in that device. And yeah, really, really cool. So those are the Shellys. And you can check out Shelly's website. There are a huge number of options. We'll maybe go back quickly to the Shelly website. Let me just switch you back there. Hopefully you're on the right screen now. If we look at the Shelly options now, we can just see here, if we go to smart lighting on Shelly, you'll see the sort of products that they've got here. So Shelly 1, now these are all Gen 3. That means that they've got both the Bluetooth. The new thing that they've got now with the Shelly 1 Gen 3 is not only Bluetooth provisioning, but also it operates as a Bluetooth hotspot within your home. So you can connect any Bluetooth devices via Bluetooth, via the Shelly, into your Home Assistant. So I think that is cool. Now they have a whole lot of options. They've got the 1 p.m. power monitoring, 2 p.m. So that is for covers and blinds. It's controlling them. We've got the Shelly dimmer. Now be careful when you order Shelly dimmer. There are two types. This one is the 0 to 10 volts. So this is actually not a dimmer that will control your lights directly. This provides a 1 to 10 volt signal, and you will need to effectively control a device that then controls the lights based off 1 to 10 volt dimming. So do be careful. If you want the dimmer, this is the dimmer over here, Shelly 2 dimmer. That one will connect directly to your lights and it will adjust them. We've then got the mini. The minis are even smaller, super tiny. I've got one of those. And then Shelly also has smart bulbs now as well. A whole range of smart bulbs. I really love these vintage bulbs. You'll see in the background, sorry, I think I might have just messed up with my stream here. Are you still seeing me? I hope so. Yeah, it looks like you're still seeing me. Hi from Sweden. Welcome from Sweden. Excellent. Funna. Really welcome to the live stream. Really great to have you on board here. I'm not sure what the time is. What's the time in Sweden at the moment? So a good friend of mine that used to work with me has recently moved over to Sweden. He's married to a lovely Swedish lady and they are living in Sweden. And he's been sending us some pictures of his place in Sweden. Just unbelievable. I would love to come visit Sweden. I need to do a tour of Europe at some stage. So welcome, Funna. Tell me, what are you running at home? I assume you've got a Home Assistant if you're on this channel. If not, worth having a look at Home Assistant. But please let us know what you are running at your home so we can find out what's going on there in Sweden. So just switching back quickly to the to this screen again here. All right, back to our Shellys. So yeah, vintage bulbs they've got. I really like these sort of vintage look bulbs. I think they're fantastic. They've also got an RGBW controller. So that's for RGB light strips. Now, I'm not sure whether that one, yeah, I would assume that one is offering let's just have a look here. I would assume it's offering controlling individual addressable LEDs, but I'm not sure. I've not actually tried that out myself, so I couldn't tell you. Then Shelly, of course, has the Pro range. Now, I've yet to try these out. You really need to have an electrician to install these because basically you're going into your switch box and wiring them up. But there's some pretty cool looking ones. You've even got this one with a little screen. And they've got the waves. I haven't played with the waves yet. But yeah, as you can see, Shelly now has a huge range of different types of dimming systems. So fantastic little devices and really interesting. Oh, cool. So Funno is telling me it's 9 p.m. in Sweden. Okay, it's 9 a.m. here, 12 hours away from you guys. And you are running Sonoff with Zigbee. Oh, awesome. So are you running the Sonoff the eWeLink and the Sonoff as your primary home automation platform? If so, fun, it'd be really interesting to hear what you're doing. I recently tried out the iHost. I don't know if you've seen the iHost, but iHost is basically a complete home automation tool. I don't know where it's gone. I did have it around here somewhere. It's gone into the background because I created a video on it recently. But iHost, if you're planning to run Sonoff eWeLink as your operating system, they've now got iHost, which is effectively a smart home platform, fully locally controlled. So, Fana, let me know what it is that you're running. Welcome, Zane. Really glad to have you here on the stream. Fantastic. You're from Oman. Middle East. I used to live in the UAE, in Dubai, about 20 years ago, and I love the UAE. It's just an awesome place to be, so much going on, and Oman is obviously pretty close. What is the solution for Shelly dimmer? I don't have neutral. Yeah, Zane, that is a good question. Shelly dimmer without a neutral. Let me just Google that quickly and we'll see if anything comes up. Shelly dimmer, no neutral. Sorry, I don't know directly because I have a neutral here. No, hub required dimming without a neutral. Let's have a look here. We'll just switch you over to my screen there. Let us have a look at the Shelly dimmer. Dimming without a neutral line. We developed Shimmer to be able to cover all possible electrical installations. Shelly dimmer can be used in houses where the neutral line is missing and provides a full set of dimming functionalities. So there we go. Fantastic answer there from the Shelly website. These guys have got a great amount of information on their website, and their help desk is also really helpful. So check them out. But yeah, there we go. Shelly can be used without a neutral. Fana, awesome. So you've got the iHost. Please let me know what your thoughts are about the iHost. I saw the iHost recently. Well, I saw it a while ago when it was launched, which was, about a year ago or so. And I thought it was an interesting looking device, but at the time I was busy with all sorts of other things. So I did reach out to Sonoff, and I got an iHost delivered to me a month or two ago, and I actually created a video on the iHost. I don't know if you've checked that out, Fana, but it is a pretty cool device. They are doing a lot of development work on the iHost at the moment, so it's continuously being updated. I see there was just an update that just launched I think a day or two ago. There's a guy that I follow who's doing a lot of videos on the iHost. He seems to be pretty invested in that platform, so well worth checking him out. If you search iHost on YouTube, he will come up pretty quickly, and I think he's got 3 or 4 videos already about the iHost. So you're using it for security and lamps and a thermostat. Cool. Now, I've got a question for you. With the thermostat, have you tried one of these devices? This is let's try my other camera. Let us just see. There we go. My top-down camera is working great. This is the Sonoff NS Panel Pro. Now, this is pretty cool. If you're running iHost as a thermostat and you want to have a wall display showing your thermostat, this works really, really awesome because you can display the thermostat on here. Haven't got it powered up at the moment, but I have got a video on a couple of videos on these actually. These are really cool. NS Panel Pros, they are similar to the Shelly. They run a Android operating system, and they are fantastic because they just mean that you've got a wall display for things like your thermostat. It's got a beautiful screen, full color display. You can even, play YouTube videos on it, all sorts of things. It's a super cool little device. I would definitely have a look at that if you're interested in iHost and you're invested into the Sonoff system. Awesome, Zane. Only a pleasure. So glad that I could help you with that. it is fantastic if I'm able to help my my team. Now, please excuse me looking at the screen the whole time. I have actually just ordered what's called a prompter, which will actually put the screen up in front of me on the camera so I can look at you and I can answer the questions. But there seems to be a delay. It's an excellent product, and there seems to be a bit of a delay in that coming out. Now, Finance says no, he hasn't got it yet. I have a tablet on the wall with eWheeling Cast. Cool. So yeah, I really like that eWheeling Cast system. It is now available, as you say, you can create your own pages and you can stream those out to your different tablets or computers or phones in your home. And there is a way now, I see you've got those Docker containers that you can download. And there is a way now to actually stream those outside of your Wi-Fi environment as well, I believe, because the other thing with eWheeling, I don't know if you've seen, Fana, I don't know if you've seen that it's now available on CarPlay as well, Apple CarPlay. I recently had a look at that and tried it out. It works really, really well. So give that a bash. Zane, good timing for the light topic. Since I'm doing a Christmas lighting now and some lights are non-smart, so I'm using smart plugs, but a smart relay is also a good option. Yeah. So look, for smart lighting, certainly smart plugs are a really good way for your Christmas outdoor lights if you're wanting to just turn them on and off. I would say then a smart plug is probably the best way to go. I mean, you could use one of these little devices, but I think smart plugs are probably the easiest. But when it comes to Christmas outdoor lighting, it's something. I've got a friend who lives just pretty close to me here. I met him on one of my live streams, and he's got a channel called North Park Lights. Now, he's super involved in Christmas outdoor lighting. He runs literally a show every year for like 3 weeks at his home. So yeah, worth checking his channel out. But when it comes to outdoor lighting, yes, you can just use a smart plug to turn it on and off. But honestly, for me, the next level is going to addressable LEDs. Now, I don't know, Zane, if you've played with addressable LEDs. Here's a strip of neon addressable LED. This one I got in from Atham. Now, this is awesome. Have you ever played with WLED, Zane? I'm going to switch over to the demo page again. And if we go here, these are what I use for controlling addressable LED strips. Cool thing about addressable LED is you can not only change the color of the LEDs, all of the strip, but you can address each individual LED. And this one comes preloaded with WLED. These are really great. I've been using Atham devices for a long time. They are ESP home and they are also WLED programmed ready when they arrive. You just plug them in and use them. But addressable LED with these devices is fantastic. They have a relay in as well. So when you turn it off, it actually switches the power off altogether. So yeah, I would definitely try, if you're going for outdoor Christmas lights and you're a little bit more adventurous, definitely worth trying WLED. All right. And we've got another guest joining us here from the Netherlands. Seems like Europe is all online. Het Bastian, welcome, Het. Great to have you online with us today. Tell us, Het, what are you running at home? You're running Home Assistant, Sonoff, Shelly. What are you running? Please let us know. It'd be great to hear what's going on there. Zane says, unfortunately, no, not at this stage. Okie doke. Now, next up, Fana. What is Fana saying for us? Need door camera ring clock for the Sonoff system. Yes, that's a very good point, Fana. They do need to come. So I recently tested one of their new cameras, the Slim Cam 2, and that was really cool. But that is literally, it's a camera. It's an RTSP streaming camera, but it's not a doorbell. So ring clock for Sonoff system, door camera ring clock system. for Sonoff. Yeah, I agree. Well, I'm working quite closely with Sonoff. I will have a chat with Sonoff and I will ask them if they've got anything in the way of a doorbell camera that is coming to the marketplace, because I'm just amazed. As I say, when I started with Sonoff, this was the device that they were putting it out. And if you look at the Sonoff page now, it is just unbelievable. The amount of products they've got. I was testing this the other day. This is one of their 3 gang lights, which is all matter. You know, they've got so many devices that are coming out now. Sonoff is just, it's a great company and they're doing some really awesome stuff. So, Fana, I will have a chat with them. I will put your request forward and see if we can get any joy. As I say, they have cameras, so I don't see why they wouldn't move the next step to a doorbell camera. Let's have a look. Zane, I do use ESP Home, so it's good to have a look on the addressable LED controller. Yes. So the addressable LED controller is not actually ESP Home directly. It's another system called WLED, very, very closely associated. I'll just open up the screen again. So this is the WLED project, okay? WLED is effectively once again, ESP32 based system. You just flash it directly from the page and it has a native integration into Home Assistant. And believe me, once you get started with this, it is just amazing. I'm literally only just starting to play with WLED and I'm just crazy about it. I haven't gone into all the details. You can do so much with WLED. It's almost limitless. Look, if you're doing the ultimate level Christmas lighting, there are next level systems that people go for, like my friend at North Park Lights. But for sort of the stuff that you and I probably do, I think WLED is your best way. There's all sorts of things. There's NeoPixels. There's all sorts of different types of LEDs that you can control with this WLED system. And so, yeah, I would really recommend check it out and let me know what you think of WLED. But I've been using it for a while now. I've done both flashing the ESP32 myself to create my own little WLED device. I recently did an LED matrix, which I 3D printed the casing. That came out as a fantastic project. I will be doing a video soon showing you that device. It is on my last stream, just showing it. But yeah, really look into WLED. Fana says door camera, yes, and Zigbee camera not Sonoff working in iHost. Door cam, yes. Zigbee door camera not Sonoff working in iHost. Okay, all right. So I didn't understand you there. Now I get what you're saying, Fana. You're asking, as far as I understand, whether you can integrate other door cameras into the Sonoff iHost platform. So that's a good question. I don't know. Let's once again go to our friend Google and see what comes up. Can I connect a doorbell camera to Sonoff? Let's see what it says. Yes, you can connect a doorbell camera to Sonoff. NS Panel Pro. You can use the NS Panel Pro to work with smart cameras, including non-Sonoff cameras, to protect your home. You can add a camera in the NS Panel Pro to the eWeLink app, and then you can use the Add Camera icon to add the camera. The camera and the NS Panel Pro must be working on the same network. Well, wow. Our friend, it's actually not Google that we're going to, well, it's via Google search, but this is actually AI search that's bringing up these results at the top now. I don't know if you've noticed, but when you Google something, the top thing that comes is actually an AI result rather than a website. And it's really cool that the stuff they're coming up with is just fantastic. So there we go. You can integrate RTSP stream cameras into certainly the NS Panel Pro. I'm assuming that would mean you can get it into iHost system as well. Not sure. you'd have to play around. But if you can't do it now, you would in the future, I'm sure. But yeah, definitely worth trying out one of those. I'll leave some links in the description below at the end of this for these devices if you're interested in getting them. Probably on some good specials at the moment with Black Friday. Funna, yes, you're looking at a door cam. Yep, that's the one. Zigbee camera, yeah, in iHost, yeah. So it certainly works in NS Panel Pro, but not 100% sure whether that will work in iHost today. I'm assuming that it will be in iHost at some stage or another, because it seems they are bringing stuff online quickly. Now, something else that's very interesting that they're also bringing in with iHost is a connection that will mean that one of their smart switches can connect to a light directly without the smart home system operating. And this is something that sounds really cool. So basically, if your Wi-Fi goes down or your eWeLink iHost goes down, basically this will be able to talk directly to the light. And I think that is super cool, because that is basically fail-safe, that your lights will always work even if the system goes down. And even if you haven't got obviously this one's got a relay in the back, but for example, this one does not have a relay in the back. So if you're connecting this to a Wi-Fi or a Zigbee bulb, it'd be really great to have that backup system in the background. So it'll be great to hear when that's coming online. Only a pleasure, Funna. Always glad to help where I can. Always good to have Uncle Google, the AI tool, in the background as my little virtual assistant. Simon says is me and me alone. I don't have any assistants working in the background, so it's great to have the AI assistants. All right, Zane. Another question from you. Please don't apologize. That's the whole idea of these live streams, is to answer your questions. I really appreciate any comments and questions you guys asked. So let's just bring that up again. Oh, let's bring it up for 20 seconds. That's going to be better. Zane, sorry for my questions, but do I have to connect the LED to controller to Home Assistant, or can I connect it directly to HomeKit? So Zane, that is a good question. Let us see. WLED HomeKit. Let us see what our HomeKit integration with WLED. Let's have a look. I'll switch you over so you can look with me together. We've got a Reddit post here saying, I'm trying to see if anyone has had any success getting WLED controller into HomeKit. I'm using the Hoobs system. I don't know if you're using Hoobs. Hoobs is a home assistant or HomeKit bridge system that allows you to bridge. Using Hoobs system, Grammarly, Grammarly, we don't know you. WLED and Home Assistant kind of go hand in hand. But yeah, we're asking about HomeKit. Let's see here. Yeah, I did Home Assistant from, never got deep into enough. Is it possible that WLED? Okay, so it looks like at the moment that you cannot use WLED directly into HomeKit, as far as I can tell. So yeah, HomeKit, you're probably aware, HomeKit is reasonably locked down. They do have the Hoops, which is a connector, but yeah, HomeKit is always going to be limiting you. So what I do, and quite a lot of the people that I follow do, is we run Home Assistant, because Home Assistant can connect to virtually anything. And then we use HomeKit as a front-end integration into Home Assistant. So if I bring up my HomeKit, for example, I can go in here and I can say, let's look at HomeKit. Now, excuse my messy HomeKit dashboard. We'll switch you over there. And you seem to be upside down. Oh, there we go. And the writing's upside down. Anyway, you get the idea. I, for example, got all my lights. There we go. They're in HomeKit, and they are going directly through to Home Assistant via the HomeKit Home Assistant bridge. And I can use this as my front end. One of the benefits of this as well, I did a video a while ago on this. One of the things about this is that if you, for example, don't want to pay for remote access, or you don't want to use a some sort of system to get remote access, what you can do is use HomeKit for your remote access, because HomeKit offers free remote access. So, yeah, that's another little tip. If you want to do free remote access, use HomeKit and control Home Assistant in the background. Yeah, so that's just another little thing. Let's have a look. So, let's have a look here. We've got Hacho Gonzalez. How do I pronounce your name? Hacho. Please forgive me. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce it, but Hacho, you're addressing Zane. You can have presets in WLED and access them via Home Assistant. Yeah, that's really cool. I do that and it works really great. So thank you for that input, Hacho. Zane, you can go to the IKEA LED route. They have a HomeKit compatible strip. This is awesome. This is what I love about the internet and YouTube, is that I can come on, have a live stream, and you can come on and you can help my guests as well. So that is just fantastic. Thank you so much, Hacho. And we've got another comment from you. Also, Aquara have one. Fantastic. So there we go. So there's a number of ways. And Zane says, thanks, Hacho. Awesome, guys. That is just so cool. We're all helping each other here. Now, just to get back to what we were talking about earlier with smart lighting. So, yes, we can control them with relays, but there are other benefits of smart bulbs. So if you look at that guy over there, I bought that recently. I've been looking at them for a while now. I really wanted one of these vintage looking LED lights, and I found this cool little lamp to put it in. Now, that one is very expensive. That is Philips Hue. Now, Philips Hue is honestly just so expensive. I'm sure you're all aware, but especially here in New Zealand, Philips Hue is crazy money. So, yeah, I bought that, but I do like it. But there are other options for some of the lights. I see that Shelly, as we were looking, Shelly has someone, and I might actually get, see if I can get some of those from Shelly and demonstrate them to you, and let's have a look at how they operate. But yeah, I love the vintage. So that's one thing about having a smart bulb that is now fully controllable via Zigbee. I don't have a Philips Hue bridge. I just use my Zigbee coordinator, which is a USB-based Zigbee coordinator, and it talks directly to my Philips Hue. Let us see what Zane is saying. My main system is on HomeKit, and I use Home Assistant for known HomeKit devices or some automations for power energy monitoring. Well, there we go. So if you are using Home Assistant in the background, you can then control your WLED with Home Assistant, because WLED pulls fully. We can have a look here quickly if you like. Excuse my messy dashboard, but I will show you here. If we go into WLED, so here's a WLED strip that I have in the kitchen. As you can see within Home Assistant, I can control a whole lot of effects that are within WLED. There you can see, look at these. These are all standard effects that are available within WLED. Or I can just turn it on and off, or I can go and I can control the colors. Can do so much. This is WLED. It's just fantastic. Now, with WLED, as far as I'm pretty sure, that would pull through back to HomeKit. So I could effectively control WLED through Home Assistant, HomeKit to Home Assistant to WLED. So yeah, just fantastic. All right. So getting back here, let's have a look here again. Funna, which products work in iHost that is in Matter? Yeah, good question, Funna. Let us have a look here. So let us quickly just Google that, because that is my question as well. I think the Matter is very much in demo or beta mode at the moment. We just switch over here. iHost Matter Bridge. Let's see what it's saying about Matter. Matter. Where is my Matter? Let us have a look. Let's see what it's telling us about Matter. Notices. Let's just go back a step again. When will iHost, there we go, eWeLink Forum. Let's check this out. Supposed to introduce Meta Hub in iHost at the beginning of this year, but they're having problems with it. So when was this? May 29th. For now, they are trying to refine the Meta Hub in NS Panel Pro. I've already lost hope they'll do this. I purchased a Meta Hub from another company, SmartThings. Never is the answer. iHost has abandoned the project. Okay, all right. If you say so, I'm not so sure about that, but might be true. Okay, so tricky one there. There doesn't seem to be much in the way of an answer about Meta with iHost at the moment. But what they are saying is that you've got NS Panel Pro, you can connect Meta devices. So interesting, worth having a play around with and seeing whether that will do much. I might do another video on this little guy and see what I can find out about this little guy connecting to Meta and see how that links back into the iHost. I might have a little play. Let's see here. Oh, yeah. So just going back to Zane, some automations and power monitoring. Yeah. Okay. Awesome, Zane. So glad that I could help you again. As I say, I'm not the expert here, but I do try. I play around with a lot of things. All right. So getting back to smart lighting, we just talked about smart bulbs, we talked about smart switches. Now, an interesting one that I did with this guy recently, we just go to my top-down camera. This is a, what you're saying, Fana? Let's see here, table stand for this. Not quite sure. Table stand for, just if you can give us a little bit more information around that question, I can try and answer you there, Fana. Right. So this is quite a cool little idea. So the other day I put a couple of these Sonoff, they are matter-based smart switches. I think they're pretty cool. They are 3-gang smart switches. They've got a little LED that lights up inside here, so you can see whether the switch is on or off. It's also got a blue LED that lights up at night, so you can find the switch in the dark. Let me just have a bit of water. So these are really cool. So what I did was I put one of these 3-gangs onto a light switch where I only had 2 lighting circuits. So I powered the first 2 lighting circuits with the 2 switches directly through the relay. The third one, which was not connected to any lighting, I basically connected up to I created an automation. Instead, I created an automation with that. So I said, when this button is pressed, go and turn on that smart light. So that worked really cool. Basically, it allows me to use one switch for controlling not only relay switches that are on that lighting circuit, but also any smart lamps or smart bulbs within that same room. So that's one idea that I've come up with, well, I don't think I came up with it. I saw someone else doing it, but it works pretty cool, and it's quite a great way of doing that. All right. Basie or Bazi, how do I pronounce your name? Where are you from, Bazi? What are the ways to add custom cards from Hacks into Home Assistant 2010 and over? Well, as far as I know, there shouldn't be any issue adding custom cards. I've got a number of custom cards. I'll just quickly switch you over to my system, my Home Assistant. And once again, please don't shoot me. I have horrible dashboards. I never get time to work on them. So let's switch over to my dashboard. Now, I've got a couple of custom cards here. I'm running on 2024.11. There's a couple of custom cards. There's this one, the weather card, which I think is pretty cool. I recently put up there. We've got this one, the bubble card. This is super cool. I really like the bubble card. Basically, look at that. You've got press the button and you've got pop-ups happening. So these are all custom cards running within the Home Assistant 2024.11. I don't know about 10. Don't think there's a problem with 10, but they are all running within the Home Assistant dashboards. Trying to add a horseshoe card. Okay, that's interesting. I've never heard about. And you're also from Sweden. Wow. It's all about Sweden today. Wow, that's so awesome. What is your weather like in Sweden? Is it, I'm assuming it's getting pretty cold now? All right. So, no, don't apologize, Buzzy. I just start off with a topic so that I've got something to say when there's no one listening. I am really open to changing the topic as many times as what you guys like. Okay. Now, this horseshoe card. Let's go and have a look at the horseshoe card because I have never heard of the horseshoe card. So let's go into our demo mode so you can see my screen. Let's go to hacks and let us see if we can find the horseshoe card. I always love it when people tell me about new cards because custom cards are just great. So let's see the horseshoe card, custom card with flexible layout, a horseshoe-like donut. Okay, so let's download this horseshoe card and see what happens. Now, of course, because we are downloading hex, wow, that looks pretty cool. I really like that. Okay, so because we're using custom cards out of hex, yes, it can be issues when it's running in Home Assistant because obviously they are not fully added into Home Assistant, but no reason why they shouldn't work. So we've downloaded it. Let's reload our dashboard and let's see what is going to happen here. There's our horseshoe card. Okay, so let's go into our Lovelace here, default, and let's go here and let's try and add one of these cards. Let's see, horseshoe. Ooh, not coming up. That's a bit odd. Is this the problem that you were having? The fact that it is not showing at all. That is a shame. Okay, so it could well be that the horseshoe card there is an issue with because it looks like that one is not going to work. Yeah. So that is a shame, but table stand for the screen. Funner. Now I'm with you. Yes, the little display. I've got one of them in my box of tricks outside there. Those are quite cool, those little stands. I mean, you could even 3D print one if you didn't have it, but I've got one. They are great. You can use it as a desk, put it on your bedside or whatever. So yeah, I agree. They are fantastic, those little table. I love all the interaction today. Let's see here. I had -13 today. Whoa, my goodness. That is crazy cold. -13. Luckily, you guys have got warm houses here, unlike in New Zealand, where our houses are pretty miserable. So, yeah, -13 is pretty cold. I would love to visit a cold country one of these days and feel what it feels like. Horseshoe card, yeah. So, unfortunately, horseshoe card looks like not really working. Sonoff Pro, Funner, yes, Sonoff NS Panel Pro, is it that you're talking about? Yeah, they work with those little bases. It's a great way of just installing it and having it on your desktop or your kitchen bench or whatever. Welcome Neutral Alias. Germany also here, but from Spain today. Weather's much better. Yeah, I'm sure. That's the awesome thing of Europe, isn't it? You can be up there in the cold and then just take a trip down to Spain. You can be sunning yourself on beautiful Spanish beach, isn't it? So that's, I can imagine that is why. I listened to another podcast at Darko Audio, and he lives in Germany, and he's now got a place, I think, in Portugal or Spain or something. He goes for the summer. Great idea. So yeah, I can totally understand why you would want to be. Yeah, was trying a manual YAML card. Oh, that's interesting. Thanks for the answer anyway. Cool. As I say, I can always try these things out and we can see what happens. But yeah, unfortunately with Hex, we do run into the limitations that if the person that created the Hex integration didn't go back and update it, unfortunately, there's not much we can do. We can only hope that that person does update it at some stage and just keep going back and checking it. Those horseshoe cards do look pretty cool. So yeah, keep an eye on them. And if you do find that they are getting integrated back again, that will be awesome. Oh, well, there we go. There's the opposite zone. You've got 29 degrees C in Oman. At least we're all talking in Celsius today. That makes it quite a lot easier. I think all the Americans are sleeping at the moment. I don't know what the time is there, but I'm just guessing that it's somewhere in the middle of the night because we don't have anyone from America. So 21 degrees, yep. I remember Dubai getting up to 50 degrees, wow, and 100% humidity. It's pretty crazy. Okay, so just feel free, guys, do ask any questions related to anything. I'm just prattling on about lighting in between your questions. The main focus is you guys. I want to help you if I can, or we help each other. Okay, but getting back to smart lighting. Now, this little guy over here is quite an interesting one. I've had this now for over a year, well over a year. Originally, I bought a Philips Hue smart bulb, similar to this, little candle bulb or whatever, E something. And the Philips Hue one worked great, but they were expensive. So I went along to AliExpress and I found this little lamp. I think it was somewhere, it was less than $10, literally, maybe five US dollars or something. Super, super cheap. Now, I've been running this device for over a year. Absolutely no issues at all. The color's pretty close. I've even got a video demonstrating the difference in the color between the two. And yeah, hardly can see any color difference. Nice and bright. So yeah, if you're looking for cheaper bulbs, AliExpress or Amazon, definitely an option for getting cheaper. And I like going for Zigbee. For me, Zigbee is honestly just a fantastic, fantastic system. Basically, every Zigbee device that I use is compatible. The only ones I have had problems with is some of the Aquara battery ones, especially the door and window switches. I find that those they randomly just go offline and disconnected, and then they don't work. So I will segue into something while I've mentioned that Aquara quickly, because this is a little project that I just recently made with my 3D printer. And funny enough, this one uses an Aquara door and window sensor inside. Now, sometimes it's a bit tricky to get this open, but inside of here is a Aquara door and window sensor. So I'll just switch to this camera again. So if you look here, this is really cool. This is a rain gauge, okay? So in the top there, that's just to protect it from leaves. You've got a little funnel, so that funnels the rain in there. And you've got the tipping cup for the rain gauge. So basically the way the tipping cup works, rain comes through there and it fills in here and then it tips over and it tips. So about 5 milliliters per tip. So basically this clever guy, I'm not anywhere like that I can design 3D stuff like this, but he can. This guy developed this thing. So he has an Aquara door sensor over here, and inside over here is the other piece of the sensor. There we go. And it sits like that. And then as it tips back and forth, basically counts. And he's written a little bit of code that basically then feeds us back to your home assistant as a rain gauge. I have a weather station. It's about 3 years old, 4 years old. It's busy dying. They don't last forever. So I wanted to make my own rain sensor, and I made it. It works awesome. However, this Zigbee sensor does not work in the garden. So I'm looking at other ways of actually getting this going because, oh, awesome. Zane, you did the same project. That's fantastic. What do you think of it? Did you get yours working? As I say, my problem is that the Zigbee is not reaching out to my garden. You took the 3D design. Yeah, that guy's awesome, man. He's got such cool little devices that he has demonstrated. Yeah, he's just a genius, man. I tell you what, since I got into 3D printing, it's a lot of fun. I've literally been sent one of the most basic 3D printers, the Ender 3 SE, but yep, it works great. I'm printing in PTG, but this is a cool project, guys. It's just amazing that you can print little parts, put them together and build something. So I'll be interested to know, Zane, what is your, how is your Zigbee sensor connecting? Is it connecting? If so, if not, did you do something special to get your Zigbee signal to go out the garden? So my thoughts are maybe to try and get a Zigbee bulb or something and have it right on the window. near where this is sitting outside so that it can do a bounce out. Let's see here. Zane is saying, unfortunately, no rain yet, Amon, but I tested and worked perfectly, but I have a question. Please feel free. Let me know what your question is, and let me know if you've got a solution for my problem of the Aquara system not working. Yeah, you might have to wait for rain for a while here, there in Oman. Luckily, here in New Zealand, we have lots of rain, if you're lucky, when you're counting the raindrops. So, yeah, please feel. You're connecting it via ZHA. Yes, I connected it via ZHA as well. Do you think maybe it would be better by going Zigbee to MQTT? Maybe I must give that a bash. That's a very good point there, Zane. I did recently play with Zigbee to MQTT, and I really like it. So that is a really, really awesome idea. I'm going to do that. I'm going to play around with that and see if Zigbee to MQTT gives me a better connection to this device and whether this is going to work, because I think this is cool. The next one I'm going to build from that same guy is the wind vane. Have you seen his little wind vane? It is cool. Let's see here. Neutral. The Aquara door and window sensors are the most stable sensors in my setup. The Aquara temperature sensors are the most unstable. Interesting. I've had to add much more router into the network for more lights. Okay. Yeah, that is a good point, is that the more lights you have, the more Zigbee routers you've got. So that is certainly true. Now, that's very interesting you're saying. So my question for you, Neutral, is what Zigbee coordinator are you using? Do you have the Aquara Zigbee hub? Because I don't have one of those. I've never tried an Aquara Zigbee hub, and I'm wondering if they would work better. Or are you using ZHA or Zigbee to MQTT? Because I really want to try and find out why I'm battling with these, and I'm not the only one. I see on the forums a lot of people questioning the connection of these guys. So please let me know what you think. Zane says, I live in an apartment, but I have many ZHA plugs as Zigbee extenders. Yeah, the more Zigbee extenders you can have, the better. And so many devices are coming out in Zigbee. Like now, this is a Zigbee. So great. No longer Wi-Fi, but Zigbee, and pretty cost effective as well. So Zigbee is just becoming ubiquitous. I must admit, it's fantastic. Fena is saying, Aquara stuff in Sonoff iHost working. That is a good question. I will have to try that out. I did try this little bulb into iHost, and it connected perfectly. So certainly it is working with non-Sonoff Zigbee devices, which was the big question that I had. So not sure about Aquara. We'll have to have a look and see about Aquara. I'll maybe pop my iHost out at some stage. I just need to get another little card for my Aquara, because I pulled the card out and I think it might have caused a little bit of problem with my iHost. Okay. Let's see. Fena is saying they have a door camera in Aquara. Yeah, good question. They do. Good point. They do have a door camera, and that would be an interesting one to integrate. I think, once again, you might have to go back to one of these guys. It seems that they've spent a lot more time at the moment integrating the software on these guys, and the iHost is still a work in progress. So I would say if you're really dedicated to the eWeLink platform, I would really recommend giving one of these a try. I'm really impressed with mine. I've got about 3 of them lying around. They are just fantastic. And yeah, I think they're a great way if you've got all the rest of the Sonoff stuff. The only problem is always showing 0.5 millimeters, even if it's not raining, and I can't reset it to 0. Yes, I did see the same problem with that, Zane. As I say, I haven't quite got mine working yet, but yeah, I see it's bringing that 0.5 at the bottom there of that little graph. Yep, so I had exactly the same problem. I think we need to have a chat with that guy and find out from him, because yeah, he's got some cool stuff, and the hardware on this thing is just amazing. But as you say, I think we need to find out why we're having problems with that 0.5 showing the whole time. So good question. Let's have a chat with him. I can't remember his name, but I'm signed up to him. And as I say, the next one I want to try is that wind vane thing. He's got a wind vane with little pressure sensors, the 4. So I'm going to order that little, he specially made up a board for me. I'm going to order it, and I'm going to do the wind vane, see if we can go. Now, that one you do need a wire. So we've got to try and think, I've got to get a wire out to my garden and do that. I think that is going to be the plan. All right, neutral. I'm using decons with Conbi. I'm thinking about switching to Zigbee to MQTT, but I'm afraid to repair 120 plus devices. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that is the bane of changing your Zigbee networks, isn't it? You've got so many devices connected, and you've got to go and repair them all. And some of mine are under the house as well. So I actually have to climb up under there and get dirty to go and pair them. So yes, that is the problem. I really like Zigbee to MQTT. I only started playing with it recently. I'd always thought it was a bit of a mission and quite difficult to set up, but I found someone that did a super easy setup, and I've created the video showing you how to do the super easy setup for Zigbee to MQTT. So give it a try. If you can, let me know what you think, because I really like Zigbee to MQTT. The one thing that I really liked about it is the number of entities that it brings in. Where you might be bringing one entity from this guy, suddenly you've got 4 or 5 entities coming in on Zigbee to MQTT. So it's pretty cool. So yeah, good luck with that, neutral. I can't, rather you than me. Yes, I saw the video, so hopefully this is the next project. Yeah, let's wait and see. As I say, I'm going to order that wind vane project. My soldering skills are nowhere near up to doing the type of soldering that guy's doing with his surface mounting stuff. I recently bought a new soldering iron. It's hiding away here somewhere. I had my old Weller from the 1980s. I was going to order a new Weller, and then I saw the price of the tips, almost the same price as this little fellow over here. Don't know if any of you have played with this guy. This is a pencil from Pine 64. It's a super cool little USB control or powered soldering iron. So I've just bought this. I got the one tip where there was a round tip. I was recommended to get this flathead tip, like a screwdriver tip. And this is a great device. I'm literally getting back into soldering, but I'm nowhere near the point of actually soldering anything on a, a surface mount soldering. I'm just starting off with soldering the basics. Okay. There are a bigger screen Pro model. Ah, interesting. So you're saying that there's a bigger one of these, is there? That is very, very interesting. Oh, yes, the 120. Yes, I know what you're talking about. Sorry, for a minute, I didn't remember that. Yes, you're right. The 120, it's 120 millimeters tall. I have one in the back there. It's literally that size. It's that format instead of this format. And yeah, it gives you a lot more. You can look at your Home Assistant screen on it. You can look at your whatever you want. Yeah, the 120 is great. Honestly, I think these little screens are fantastic. I'm playing with all sorts of them. I've played with a couple of these. I'm playing with the Shelly now, and definitely worth it. All right, Aquara have a screen called the S1E. You can use it with the Aquara doorbell. Okay, let's have a look at the Aquara one, Zane. S1E, Aquara S1E. Let's check that out. I'll switch you guys over so you can see what I'm looking at. Aquara S1E Magic Switch. All right. This looks pretty cool. Very similar once again, isn't it? Almost identical. Okay, the little vents are in a different place, so it's obviously a different one, but so similar. I do like the design of those buttons. Look at that. Look at that edging. This looks funky, man. These look very cool. Let's have a look. So, unique screen has powerful functions, colorful themes, magic cards, 2,200 watts. So it has got a relay. Oh, that's one thing to bear in mind. If you are looking at, which screen are you on? Look at me here again. If you're looking at one of these, just bear in mind there's no relay inside here. This is only powered, doesn't actually control anything. You have to control a smart bulb with this. So don't buy it thinking there's a relay inside. Okay. The Shelly one does have a relay, which is a bit of a plus. Okay. So if we go there, let's go back to this little guy and see. So it's got a relay. I really like these designs that they've got. These are super funky. Aquarium. Wow, this is pretty cool. So definitely would be worth. Oh, it's got voice control as well. Okay. It's got functions. It's a 54 magic cards. It connects with the Aquara app, it looks like. That is very interesting. Magic Switch S1E. Now, the question I would have is, can you do anything with Home Assistant with that S1E? That would be a good question, wouldn't it? Because, yeah, I don't know. It'd be good to try it out. Have you tried the Aquara S1E by any chance, Zane? Yeah, let me know if you have. It would be interesting to try one out and see what it's all about. Anyway, guys, I think it's been a fantastic morning. I've really enjoyed the time with everyone here this morning. It's been great having everyone from Europe joining me. A real pleasure to chat to you all. And please come on board again on my next one. Let's just, there's another question here from Neutral. Before we go, S1E seems to be a closed system. I hope Aquara will not leave the open home field in favor of a closed. Yes, 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 Neutral. My thoughts exactly. We do not want to go with anything closed. Now, this one is, well, it's linked in because you've got the iWi link now. And the iWi link Sonoff LAN integration into Home Assistant is working really well now. So this one's pretty open, and also you can display the Home Assistant screen on it. The Shelly one, also pretty open. So yeah, I think Aquara, if they're going to go down the closed system, they are going to upset quite a lot of people. So let's see what happens. I don't have any dealings with Aquara at the moment. It would really be great to be in contact with someone from Aquara. Yeah, I haven't as yet, so only a pleasure, Zane. It has been fantastic chatting with you. I'm really glad that you've enjoyed the session this morning. We might just hang on a little bit more. I see that there's been another 5 people that have suddenly jumped on board the stream. So I'm happy to carry on for another 10, 15 minutes or so. If any of the new people that have joined has got any questions, we've been talking all things lighting this morning, but we've been answering lots of questions as well. We've talked a lot about Sonoff iHost. Now, another thing that I've been playing with quite recently, I don't know about you guys, but thank you, Neutral. I am glad that you have enjoyed it. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show with me. I really enjoy chatting to people all over the world and learning from you guys and helping if I can. So just before we go, another little device that I've been playing with is the local voice assistants. I don't know if anyone's played with voice assistants here. So this one, well, first of all, the first one that came out was the tiny little one from M5 Stack, I think it is. That one was, I couldn't get it working. Did not want to happen. This one then I got, the one with the little face on the screen. And this one was a little bit of a nightmare to get this loaded up as well. I must admit, I would not put it. I was very, very frustrated getting this running. So, but once I got it working, it ran fantastically. So that was good. But recently I tried this one. I did a video on this, and wow, a lot of people seems are interested in the local voice control. So yeah, the problem with this one was, don't know if you can hear, but the speaker is loose. There we go. Doesn't sound too good, but it does work. Okay. So I'm really excited to see, wow, 7 people on board now. Welcome, everyone. I will keep going a bit then. Now, I'm really excited to see that Home Assistant is in the plans of releasing their own voice hardware this year. Now, that is going to be super exciting. As you've seen, Home Assistant and Nabocasa are in the process of releasing more and more smart devices or hardware devices to go with the fantastic software. And what they're doing is they are going to be releasing their own voice device. So I think we're all on tender hooks waiting to see what is going on there. Now, I've just recently sent my application into Home Assistant to join their creator network. I would really like to get on board. I've had a couple of chats with Frank on and off. He's a great guy. He's a member of the channel, and I've had some good chats with him. But, let's have a look here. Fen has got a question. Let's just pop that up there. Thank you for your question, Fenna. Which power cable do you use for the table stand display? Now, Fenna, there's no actual power cable that comes with it. What you have to do is you have to take your own cable. So what I did, and I always just say to people, whenever you're doing wiring, make sure you're comfortable doing wiring. If you're not, get an electrician or someone that is comfortable doing it. Please don't follow any of my requests if you're not comfortable doing it. All I did was I took a lamp, similar to that lamp over there, cut the cable off, put the cables through the little box, and then wired them into those two, and then I can just plug that in. And then I've got my lovely little desktop nightstand smart device. I'm so glad you've reminded me of this little thing, because I'm going to get this out and I'm going to hook it up again, and I'm going to put it by my bedside, because I do love having a little Home Assistant screen at the ready whenever I need it. But getting back to voice control, so yeah, there's very interested to see what Home Assistant's going to come out with, and hopefully I can get on the Home Assistant Creators Network so that I can get some insider information and hopefully share things with you guys, my audience. But that is coming. There's another guy on YouTube that has built this fantastic looking hardware device. I don't know if any of you have seen it. It's like a round device. This guy he's pretty amazing. He does all sorts of whole home audio stuff and things. It looks like he's a real electronics and programming guru, and he has developed some sort of a smart voice control as well. So hopefully I'm going to get a hold of one of those to try it out once he's ready with that device. I do love working with new hardware developers, people like Atham. I always talk about Atham because they are just such fantastic people. I'm trying to get more closely involved with more and more of the providers. I'm actually going over to China next month. Thank you, Fenna. Only a pleasure. It has been absolutely fantastic to be able to help you, and thank you for all of your input. I do appreciate it. So yeah, I'm going over to China next month. In 2 weeks actually. I'm going to Shenzhen, and I'm going to see if I can source some new suppliers for new exciting smart home tech. Things like this that you've never heard of, little guys popping up. And with some of these things, like this bulb, it is from some unknown manufacturer, but the quality is fantastic. And I'll tell you something, if you guys are scared of buying on AliExpress, there's really no need to be. The way that AliExpress works is you place your order. Once you receive the device and you test it and you're happy with it, only then does the vendor get paid. So you're actually at very little risk of losing your money, because if you're not happy with the device, the vendor doesn't get paid, and then there's a whole argy-bargy. But it is actually very safe. I've ordered literally hundreds and hundreds of products from AliExpress over the years. I would always recommend going and looking at the reviews at the bottom of the product listing, and secondly, go and look at some YouTube videos or written reviews about those products, see what people are saying. But there are some fantastic products out there, like this little Zigbee smart bulb, which I've been using for a year now. Absolutely no dramas at all. All right, let's see. I think we've got a new comment from Joe. Joe McCall. Welcome, Joe. Trying to get Olama, Whisper, Piper, and Open Wake Word working locally, but need to buy a GPU for reasonable performance, but then it's unjustifiably expensive. Sorry, Joe. I've been talking for almost an hour and a half now, so my voice is not as good as what it was. But yes, very, very good point. So I've got Whisper, Piper, Open Wake Word working fine on my Home Assistant, and the response time is not that great. The interesting things is with devices like these, they actually process it locally on the ESP32S3. So they actually do the AI voice detection on here, and then they just send a message back to good old Home Assistant. So these guys are not reliant on external hardware if you run the voice locally. Now, Olama is something that I have not got my hands around yet. Yeah, there's certain things that are at the moment sort of just over my level of expertise, and Olama is one of them. Another one that I'm trying to do at the moment is Frigate. I don't know if any of you guys have had much joy with getting Frigate working, but I'm using a couple of Rear-Link cameras with a Rear-Link NVR, and I really want to get Frigate working. But yeah, I was playing this morning, and I do think that's at my limit. What I have got for Frigate, however, is a Google Coral, which is an accelerator that I picked up. It wasn't that expensive. It was literally, I think, about $50 US, which to me was not a huge amount of money. I'm not sure what you're running your Home Assistant on, but yeah, it is expensive to get high performing GPUs. I must admit, yesterday I showed this. I just upgraded to a Pi 5 recently. I've been running on Pi 4s for a long time. Recently I upgraded to this little guy, Pi 5 in the Pyron Man case. I think that's pretty funky. It's like a little mini case, and it's got a NVMe slot inside there as well. So I was amazed at the speed of Home Assistant running on a Raspberry Pi 5, and that's only a 4 gig compared to running on a Raspberry Pi 4. It was pretty fantastic. So these little single board computers are coming a long way. No worries, mate. Yep, that's a pleasure, Joe. I just turned off my Frigate install and relying on the Rear-Link NVR. That's very interesting, Joe. Now, please give me an idea why you turned off your Frigate and what you're doing with your Rear-Link NVR. Now, first of all, I love Rear-Link NVR. It's a fantastic little product. I only received it about 4 months ago, and for me, running PoE cameras into an NVR is just amazing. I was on the live stream yesterday with the guys at Rear-Link, and I'm testing all of their cameras for you at the moment. And yeah, I do like the Rear-Link brand of products, and their NVR works great. It records everything. What I'm looking to do is, so I love with Rear-Link, they've got the human, the animal, and the vehicle detection, and that's working really cool. However, what I'm wanting to get into is the next level, and that is things like number plate detection. So a mate of mine's got a number plate detection camera. Man, that thing is amazing. He basically, every single car that goes by, he records it. It records into the database, and he can then, if his neighbors are burgled or whatever, he can pull up the footage and he can show them the number plate from 2 in the morning, whatever it is. So I want to do number plate detection. That's the one thing. The second thing I want to do is human detection, so actual facial recognition detection, so that I can hopefully say, if someone comes to visit me, I can announce in the house, wow, this person has arrived outside. So those are the two things that I want to do. Now, I've spoken to Rear-Link, and hopefully they will start looking at doing something like that with their cameras, because the big thing about this AR detection is that if you can do it at the camera, it's way better than having to do it at on the sort of NVR side of things. So it seems that the cameras, it works better if you're doing it on the camera. So hopefully guys like Rear-Link are going to start looking at these sort of AI opportunities, because I think that that's really where cameras are going. You know, it's unbelievable to me, the number of cameras that are going up in my neighborhood. I was just going for a walk this morning. Every single person just about has one or more cameras. Most of them are Wi-Fi. Some of them are battery. It's interesting. The battery technology is really growing. You look at this guy. This has got a 20,000 milliamp hour battery inside it. So the battery power of these is going up. You link that with a solar panel. Pretty amazing. And you can even do 24/7 recording. Okay. But once again, there is a limit to batteries, but they certainly are coming a long way with the batteries. Let's just see here. All right. Frigate was another point of failure in my case, and I didn't have a TPU, so response was not great. My requirements were quick person vehicle detection, and the MVR with PoE cam works fine for me. Yeah, I agree. So I am running on the outside, on the front of my house, Joe. I'm running this guy, the Reolink Track. Sorry guys, sounds like someone has just started up their mower outside my house. So that's a horrible noise. I think I'm going to have to end up the live stream because this will drive you guys crazy. We will kick off with oh, maybe he's not going to do the mowing. Let's see. We'll give it a bash. Morning from Australia, Robert. Welcome to the live stream. Fantastic. Lovely to have you here with me. Just ordered a Reolink Atlas to replace some of my Argus 3s. Yeah, Reolink is just, they've got some cool. I'll show you the camera that I've just bought from them, or they sent it to me, thankfully. I'll show you the one that it's called a Track Mix. This guy over here. Oh my goodness. This camera is just amazing. It's got, it's a PDZ camera. Well, no zoom. It's got two lenses. So it's got a zoomed in and zoomed out lens. It's got live tracking. I've got the PoE version. It's got a flashlight. So I've got mine set up to detect for humans because I don't want to detect every movement. There's cars going by all the time. So I've got it to detect only humans and then to start up with the tracking. Anyway, guys, I'm afraid that it seems as if this guy is determined to get his mower or weed eater going outside, and this is going to drive you guys crazy. So I think I'm going to have to end up the webinar today, or the live stream. I know there's 11 of you all watching, so it's a real shame, but I do think that this mower or weed eater is going to drive you crazy. But I will definitely be doing a lot more live streams. I can see that you're all interested in live streams, and I agree, it's a fantastic, I love doing it. It's a real learning for both of us. But anyway, thank you so much for your time. Really great to chat to those of you who have come online, and I look forward to catching up with you in the next one. Bye for now.